In my last video we sailed out through the Needles and into the channel, hard on the wind heading west. But the wind gradually increased to 30 knots plus, so we decided to take our advanced gears into consideration and return to the Solent and Newtown Creek, ready to try another day. 7 o'clock-ish, we're in Newtown Creek and there's a bit of wind and the weather doesn't look too bad, and the forecast is for it to go south-southwesterly, which gives us more of a chance of getting to Portland than we had yesterday. Bill's sitting ready, look, on the at the stern, waiting to steer. The engine's running, all checks have been made, and we're about to go off along the coast. We're just going through the buoyed moorings of at Yarmouth, cheating the tide. A bit dull, but all right. It's quite rare to see a ship using the Needles Channel, and even rarer to see this one. It's a purpose-built vessel for carrying yachts long distances. It's a sort of floating dock that can partially submerge so that smaller boats can float in and then be carried as the ship refloats, lifting the boats out of the water sitting on the internal deck. These shots are from their website. We're just coming up to Hurst Narrows. The tide is coming in against us, so we're staying close over this side to stay out of the tide, and then eventually we'll go through the race over there and sort of ferry glide across, because we're going to go across on the North Channel. Tide doesn't look too bad, but it's running quite hard, I think. We're pretty much through the Hurst Narrows, not being dragged past the castle like we were just now, but you can see it's fairly lumpy, but Zephyr's astonishingly steady actually in this sort of wavelength. We're zonking along at a steady 6 knots in 15-16 knots of wind. Going against the tide unfortunately, but there's Hurst Castle disappearing in the distance, and Bill's, as you can see, working really hard at staying still. Situation report, that's Hengersbury Head over there, we're creeping past. We're Reefed Main and Reefed Genoa, and we're 19 knots of wind, and we're doing 6.2 knots into this lumpy sort of sea, heading at the moment towards Poole. Well, I don't know what happened to the southerly element of the forecast. I was hoping we would lay Anvil Point on this tack, but we're only just laying Poole, and the wind is increasing. So we're just sailing gently up the small boat channel into Poole. Wind got up to 29 knots going to windward, and we've decided to come in here for the night and see what the weather brings tomorrow. We're in Poole Harbor now. Picked up a buoy here at the back of Brownsea Island, and it's quite a bit calmer, so we'll spend the night here and look at what the weather's like for tomorrow. Well, we're leaving Poole Harbor again. Not going to continue west. Forecast is for quite strong winds and due west. Horrible. So we're going out, and we'll go back to the Solent and probably to Southampton. Very rumbustious night last night on the mooring. Blew quite hard, quite rough actually. This has not been a good summer for sailing, that's for sure. We're just coming up to the entrance. There's the chain ferry that goes across there, and we're looking at 19 knots here in the harbour, so it's going to be quite fresh outside, I think. Just going up the small boat channel with just the jenny up, and we've got 23 knots of wind, and we're doing 6 knots already. I bet he's thinking you must be mad going out in this. Got a fair bit of heel on, even with just the Genoa. We might even have to reef that. We're now leaving Poole. The autopilot is steering us pretty much to the Green Buoy at the North Channel, and it's all right. Actually, nothing like going downwind in a hoolie. It's fantastic. It's tea time. Tea and biscuits, and we're zonking along at about 6 knots. A little bit rolly, but fortunately we got the tide with us this time, so it should be less rolly later on. Well, we're just passing Hengersbury Head, Christchurch, bathed in sunlight. The autopilot's steering, and we've laid a waypoint at the Green Buoy at the start of the North Channel. We've got the tide under us, so doing 5 knots through the water, 6.1 over the ground at the moment. We're all togged up in our kit, but because it rained, but now it's stopped. By the way, it does look like it might be raining ahead. We've found that just having the Genoa up helps enormously when going downwind like this. The boat doesn't yaw around like it would be if you used the main, and the autopilot is able to steer. It always worries me a little bit when we do this sort of stuff, because there's nobody else out here at all. So are we being gung-ho or what? I don't know, but there's no sign of any other sailing boat out here at all today, and it's windy, but it's quite lovely. Wind shift as this front's gone through, and we're now on port tack and with the wind almost abeam, so that's steadying the boat quite a lot, and we're not rolling anywhere near as much. And Bill, who's going to smile at you now, he's quite happy. But there's part of these great big waves that keep going past. Just approaching the green buoy that shows the start of the North Channel. We're in the Solent now, left Hurst Castle behind. Bit of a fight against the tide, but we've made it all the way through and heading towards Lymington and the shallow area. Currently 25 knots on the beam and 6.3, 6.4 through the water. And it's stopped raining and stuff like that. It's really nice. Sailing wing on wing in 25 knots. The wind's a bit all over the place. We've had to jibe twice, and in the end I gave up on the Genoa and furled it. We're still doing nearly 6 knots, and Gillkicker Point is now in sight. There's the port and starboard buoys, marking the main channel into Portsmouth. We'll be turning to port soon and sailing along the small boat channel into the harbour itself. And here we are, making our way into Royal Clarence Marina and our home berth, safe and sound.